Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back. If you're new to this channel, my name is Zid, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can get a nomination from the province of British Columbia, especially if you guys are foreign skilled workers, international graduates, or healthcare professionals. Let's do this together. First of all guys, a big congratulations again to all of my friends who are now happily living in British Columbia. We have Alvin, Vanessa, Zara, Mitch, Hannah, and Brandon who are living in Vancouver, and also Jen and Alan who are living in Richmond and Kelowna. And also to my relatives in Vancouver, we have Tita Gigi, Tito June, Kisha, Nico, and Mitch. Wow, I got a lot of friends and family in British Columbia. Well, guys, one primary reason why people are moving to British Columbia is because of the weather. And having said that, let's take a quick look at some facts about British Columbia. First fact, British Columbia is the most desired province in Canada because of its weather. For example guys, in the winter time, the weather here in Toronto is about 0 to minus 40 degrees Celsius with wind chill. But in Vancouver, the weather is about 6 degrees Celsius, which is a pretty mild winter weather. And all throughout the year, the weather in Vancouver guys is just hitting around 16 degrees Celsius, which is a really nice weather. Second guys, in British Columbia, there are about 400 provincial parks, recreation, and conservation areas. So it's really good for people who love outdoor activities, nature, hiking, and all of those stuff. Third, British Columbia guys is close to Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Las Vegas. So if you're looking for a place close to these cities, then British Columbia is your best bet. Before I move on guys, please consider subscribing to my channel, hit the bell, give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your support. Alright guys, so I just want to make a recap about the previous PNP videos that I've created. We've started with Ontario, followed by Saskatchewan, and then Alberta and Manitoba, and now British Columbia. So what we're trying to do here guys is we're trying to match your profile to the requirement to see first whether you're eligible to apply, or second, you have a higher chance of getting an NOI. Now, if you guys find out that you're not eligible to a certain stream, don't be sad, that's perfectly normal and I totally understand. What important here guys is that by watching the video, you get to understand the terms, the concept, the processes, and to me that is more important because by understanding them, you get to decide better which stream best fits your profile. So without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss the different streams or pathways under British Columbia PNP. First, let's talk about the eligibility criteria for Express Entry BC International Graduates stream. Now, I want you guys to pay attention with the requirements because most of them are similar to the next two streams that I will be discussing, which are the skilled worker and healthcare professional stream. Alright guys, so the very first eligibility criteria under the international graduate stream is that you must have an express entry profile. So this means guys that you have 67 points in the selection factor point grid and therefore in the express entry pool with an express entry profile number and a job seeker validation code. So let me just show you guys really quick how to compute for your score. Alright guys, so here's the link where you can compute for your FSW points. You can find this link on the description box below. Okay, so let's start first with your language skills. You can have a maximum of 28 points, followed by the education with the maximum points of 25. Your work experience, you can get maximum 15 points. Your age, you can get maximum of 12 points. An arranged employment in Canada will give you maximum 10 points. And finally, adaptability will give you 10 points. So guys, in order to get into the express entry pool, you must score at least 67 points in the FSW points. The second criteria guys is that you must be a graduate of a Canadian post-secondary institution in the past 3 years. And also guys, you must qualify to work in your occupation in British Columbia. The third criteria guys is that you must have a salary in line with British Columbia wage rates for the occupation, and also you must meet the minimum income requirement. Let me just show you guys the table of income requirement. Alright guys, so this table right here shows you the minimum annual income that you must have based on family size and area of residence. So for example, if you are a single and lives in Greater Vancouver area, then you must have an annual income of 22,804. Now, if you live outside of Greater Vancouver area, then you must have an annual income of 19,006. Now, if you are living with your wife or your husband, so family of 2, then it will be 28,390 if you live in Greater Vancouver area. If outside, it will be 23,659. And if you're a family of 3, it's gonna be 34,902 and 29,087 respectively. Moving on to the fourth criteria, guys, is that you must have a legal immigration status in Canada. So for example, a student visa or a temporary foreign worker. And also, guys, you must show that you can support yourself and your dependents. Now, the fifth requirement, guys, is that you must meet the minimum language requirements. So in this case, you must provide an IELTS report and meet the minimum language requirement of one of the federal economic programs. Now, the sixth and final criteria, guys, for the international graduate stream is that you must have accepted a full-time job offer from a British Columbia employer, and that this job must be under NOC 0, A, or B. Now, let's move on to the second stream, which is the Express Entry BC Skilled Worker Stream. Alright, guys, so the eligibility criteria for the Skilled Worker Stream is the same as that of the International Graduate Stream, plus the following. Number 1, it is not required to be a graduate of a Canadian institution, and number 2, you must have at least 2 years full-time work experience on the job you have been offered in Canada. So for example, guys, if you got a job offer as a computer programmer, now you should be working for 2 years already with this occupation. Moving on to the third stream is Express Entry BC Healthcare Professional Stream. Again, guys, the eligibility criteria for the Healthcare Professional Stream is the same as that of the International Graduate Stream, plus the following. Number 1, you're not required to be a graduate of a Canadian institution, and number 2, you must have at least 2 years full-time work experience in the following occupations in Canada. Let me show you these occupations. So the occupations, guys, are the following: registered nurse, nurse practitioner, registered psychiatric nurse, physician, specialist, physiotherapist, clinical pharmacist, diagnostic medical sonographer, medical laboratory technologist, medical radiation technologist, and occupational therapist. Now that you guys know the eligibility criteria, let's move on to the step-by-step process on how to apply under these streams. Now, the application process for all of these streams, guys, is the same. There's just a little difference, which I will discuss later. Alright, guys, so the very first step is to create a BC PNP online profile and then submit your registration. So this step, guys, is called the EOI, or Expression of Interest. And by the way, guys, BC PNP stands for British Columbia Provincial Nominee Program. Now, let me just show you guys how to register. Alright, guys, so first step, go to this link right here, which you can also find in the description box below, and then on the right side, click on the register link to register your BC PNP online account. So the second step, guys, is to complete the online application form by completely filling out all the required details for the registrant information, education, BC job offer and work experience, and language. So let's just take a look at what are the information that you need to fill out for all of these sections. So for registrant information, basically you just have to fill in your personal information, your passport details, your contact information, your residential address, your current previous applications if you have one, and your express entry information. Now let's take a look at the next section for education. So for education, guys, simply fill in the highest level of education that you have based on the credential assessment that you had, for example, with WES, which is Rural Education Services, and your ECA number right here. Now let's take a look at the next section, which is BC job offer and work experience. In this section, guys, you just have to put in your company or organization information, your job title, your NOC code, and it's very important, guys, that you include your hourly wage, your annual wage, and your hours of work per week. Now let's take a look at the last one, which is the language. For this section, guys, you need to take an IELTS, and you have to put your scores for listening, reading, writing, and speaking, and right at the very bottom you need to put your test report form number. Now finally, you have to click on the submit section. So this one, guys, is the last part of the registration. You just have to declare that the information you've given in this registration is truthful, complete, and correct by putting in your full name right on this field right here, and then finally click on the submit registration button. Now after you guys complete the registration, you will get a registration score called the SIRS based on various factors. So let me just show you guys the SIRS score that I got out of this registration. So still on the same page, guys, if you click on your My Dashboard tab here, it will show you your dashboard, and then if you scroll further down, it will show you your SIRS score. So in this score is based on different factors, guys. The first one is the economic factor, so you get points based on your wage, your skill level, and regional district of employment. And the second factor, guys, is the human capital factor, so you get points based on your work experience, your level of education, and your language. So in my case, guys, my total SIRS points is 140. Now candidates will be ranked based on SIRS score, and let me just show you guys quickly the minimum score of candidate that got invited under express entry skilled worker stream. So this link, guys, can also be found on the description box below. Now this table right here shows the latest draw that was held, which was on September 3rd, 2019. And this actually shows the minimum score of candidates who got invited not only for skilled worker but also for other categories like international graduate. So for skilled worker, it's actually 96, and for international graduate, the minimum score is actually 100. And then the total number of invitations that was issued for this date alone is 546. The second step, guys, is to receive an invitation to apply for BC PNP. Now, guys, just a reminder for healthcare professionals, you may skip this step as you don't need an invitation to apply, and you can apply directly through the BC PNP online. The third step, guys, is to submit your application within 30 days after receiving your invitation to apply. Now, let me just show you guys how to submit your application through the BC PNP online. Alright, guys, so once you receive your invitation to apply, your case status on your dashboard is going to show as invited. And then on the lower right part of the page, there is a continue button right here. Simply click on this button to submit your application. Again, guys, if you need a detailed guide on filling out the form, no worries, there's a link in the description box below that walks you through submitting your application. Now on to the last stage, guys, is to receive a provincial nomination and apply to IRCC for permanent residence. Now, guys, you will get an additional 600 points for getting a British Columbia nomination, and therefore you will receive an ITA in the next Federal Express Entry draw. Now once you receive your ITA, submit your application within 60 days. And that ends the video. Guys, if you haven't watched the other PNP videos, you may want to check them out on my channel or links in the description box below. I'll see you guys on my next video. Good luck!